Suka sukari, sukari, suka sukari, sukari, suka sukari, sukari, suka sukari, wanampatia sukari. Ugh. Brother, brother, brother. Sukari, suka sukari, nampatia sukari, suka sukari. Hi guys, hello guys, hello guys. Welcome to post-traumatic beliefs. Nampatia sukari. It's been a minute. I know I had like, so the weather has been changing from summer and it's been tough, very tough on me. It's been tough. Life hasn't been easy for the last 3 weeks for me. It's been super tough. God help us. Right, so I'm here. I haven't been walking as much as I'm used to walking the last 2 weeks. I know you guys haven't been seeing me on my walk. I tell you, it hasn't been easy. It has been easy. Hello Venom, how is it going with you? How has life been? I am walking this morning. I haven't been around because you know, it has been a tough 2 weeks. Where am I going? I'm just going for a walk. Just, it's a morning walk like I'm used to. Hi Mustafa. Hey. How's it going? Anthony the Rock, hello. What are you guys up to this morning? So, beautiful day. Everyone is walking, everyone's running, everyone's like doing their own thing. Mustafa is doing good. Hey, that's nice. What's exciting? What's exciting? The last few days have been, eventful, guys. I haven't even talked about it. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about Iranian missiles. Let's talk about Iranian missiles. Where are you guys on the issue? I know y'all know my stand on this position, but I stand on this position. Let's talk about the Iranian missiles. What's your stand, Mustafa? Anthony Rock. I just want to hear you guys' opinion. Ooh, it's so beautiful. So I usually start here and then I go other places. So beautiful. It's noisy because you can hear the planes. The planes are everywhere. So, but look at who passed us. That little bird. Yep, it's beautiful, beautiful. Anyway, okay. For me, you know what I think about this whole Iranian missile crisis? Iranian crisis. I think Israel messed with the wrong one. Israel messed with the wrong motherfucker. I mean, those missiles were badass. They hit everything. They hit hospitals, they hit power stations, they hit military sites, they hit residential homes. They were so targeted, like on point. Tell you, when you decide to attack somebody, make sure you know their capabilities very well. Don't just go to a war where you're not even capable of winning. You know, it's like when you go to a beehive and you start playing with the beehive, expect that the bees will sting you. you don't you don't you don't mess with the wrong beehive. At least come with some smoke. Come with some smoke. Anyway, I have no sympathies for Israel after what they did to starve the kids in Gaza. So I'm very clear on my stand. I just like to, I just had respect for Khamenei protecting his country like that from an aggressive bully. You know. Yeah, I think it's nice when people stand up for a bully. Like when I was in high school, the older kids in high school, they used to be bullies, and they would they would come take your bath water, take stuff from you because you knew. And for me, I've always stood up for myself, and I have a respect for people who stand up for themselves because I know how it is to be bullied out of nowhere. You're going about your business, and somebody decides to bully you. As a personal philosophy, I stand up against bullies. So kudos to Iran. Kudos to Iran for standing up against the bully. The world expected that they behave that way, that they stand up for themselves. You have to respect people who do that. Those are the people you respect. It's just a natural respect for humans when they stand up for themselves. You naturally respect those kinds of people. It's just natural that you'll be like, oh, whew, you, whew. They changed the world, with those missiles, because everybody thought, oh, Israel could not be attacked. They have this Iron Dome. Well, Iron Dome wasn't so iron after all. I saw somebody's comment on social media, and he was like, the Iron Dome is anti-Semitic, and I was like, woo, 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 woo. How can you say that the Iron Dome is anti-Semitic? Man, brutal. That was the most brutal comment I've heard all year round. This is June of 2025. Man. Oh, there's a little bird in those bushes. Let me show you. He is hiding somewhere here. You see him? He moved. Anyway, that's how far we were at that end over there. That's how far we've walked. And I walked a little bit, like almost halfway. I'm still moving along. Thanks guys for joining me. Thanks for liking my videos. Yeah, I can tell you. I can tell you that I was happy. I was very, very happy when Iran defended itself and actually humbled Israel. They want a ceasefire. They requested for a ceasefire. That's like being humbled. Yeah, yeah. War is a little bit funny sometimes. Oh, look at that little bunny. It's so cute. So cute. I know, so cute. I think he disappeared inside. He went inside. So we are walking over here. Cute, cute. Like this video. I mean, that can give you a lesson in life. You know when I talk about this, it's because psychologically there's also lessons that you can learn. There's so many things that you can learn either from Iran and from Israel. There's so many things that you can learn. For example, like, you cannot win on propaganda. You need to actually do the work. You know, you can't tell people we are powerful when you're not that powerful. You actually have to do the work. That's what matters. You know, Iran wasn't saying we have all these weapons, we will destroy you, we will retaliate, we'll do all this. No, they didn't. They just retaliated, you know. So, and Israel was like, we have this Iron Dome, we can attack you, we can do this, we can do this. And then they were humbled. Like, and that is about life, you know. Be prepared. Less talking, more of the work. That's lesson number one. That is lesson number one. Mustafa is like, okay. Okay. That's how it goes. That's how the story goes. Actually, be prepared. You know, but you would think like at this time, Israel will go like, okay, let's have peace with our neighbors. We came here, we have a place that they gave us. Let's stop terrorizing our neighbors. Let's just let everyone be. Let's stay peacefully. Let's not look for war with our neighbors. They are, you know, they are not the most friendly neighbors, but they don't attack you unprovoked. So, you know, let's try to make this peace be. No. Israel is such a small country. Even when you look at the map of Israel and Iran, why would you provoke a giant when you're like this small? Why would you do that? I don't know. I have no idea why. No clue. Apart from, like, if you're delusional, you're not really thinking straight, which, you know, at this point I have concluded Netanyahu is and a lot of Zionists, cuckoo, delusional. Um, I'm just I'm just happy they got humbled. That's all I'm gonna say. It's a good day for me. I am happy with the situation. I'm not happy that people lost their homes. I'm not happy that kids, but there were very few casualties in terms of civilians, which is, thank God. But their facilities, like Iran was very strategic. Iran hit facilities like research labs. It hit those. It hit a hospital. It hit a military base. It hit the power, the electricity. It did hit some residential homes, but it was very, very strategic. I mean, I don't like war, but I like to study the strategy of a war. I like to see what's the strategy that they are using. And the strategy is clear. Like if you hit a power station, you cut off power. Then you leave people in darkness for a while. That kind of will rattle them, especially if they are used to comfort, like the Israelis, they're used to power, electricity, Wi-Fi. If they don't have electricity, it's like, oh my goodness, I can't go to the internet and post on TikTok. What do you mean? Stuff like that. It can get even Gen Z's a little rattled. They don't have power or internet, something like that. Like it's a freedom that they don't have. Even Iranians also, they went out of internet and power. The government shut their internet and power, and some of them were not happy about it, because we are in a generation where people are used to the internet. So once your internet goes out, you start being affected by life, and it really becomes like life is affecting you for reals. You're not used to not having internet. You feel the pain, and electricity. What the hell? So that was a very strategic move to hit a power plant. Like, what the hell? The other one that I saw was a strategic move about the Iranians. They hit a lab, a chemical lab, a research lab. Like, they hit that. And to rebuild that lab would take Israel another 5 years. So that is work that they have had, probably worked for the last 10 years, and then to go back to ground zero and start over again, another 5 years. That is hitting somebody. It's kind of like hitting a man in the nuts, where it really hurts. You got hit by the gonads, it's kind of, what the hell? What the hell? That was strategic. To hit, hitting a military base is weakening, and these are surprise attacks, Israel was aware that Khamenei was going to retaliate, Tehran wasn't going to take it quietly, but they thought, well, they'll launch a few missiles like Gazans do, and whatevs. They were not prepared. I can tell you this. Israel was not prepared. They thought oh shoot, they'll just launch a few missiles. They'll miss. The Iron Dome will catch them anyway. Everybody's going to be safe. Then the missiles get launched, and then one of the things I saw when the missiles get launched, for me, I was kind of in a daze, whatever, missiles are being launched. I saw this one video of Lebanese people. They were at a wedding, and in that wedding, they could see the missiles go over Lebanon, as they are going towards Israel. And they start dancing and singing, and they're like, "Do-do-do-do-do." It's a wedding, and they can see the missiles, the lights glittering, going. And they're like dancing. And, I understand them because Israel had just attacked Lebanon. And so, the enemy of your enemy is your friend kind of thing. Because this is warfare. This is giving you the secrets of warfare. So anyway, the missiles, they are flying from Lebanon, and Israel had just hit Lebanon. So these people in the Lebanese wedding, they are dancing and happy to see the missiles go to hit Israel. Fair enough. It's the art of war. I'm not gonna get emotional about this. But, they get to a point, then you hear the sirens in Israel because they want people to go and hide. In case there's a missile attack, they want people to not be in their houses so that if anything is hit, they are under protected bomb shelters. And they go hide. And for the first time, you see Israelis, running for cover the same way the people of Gaza have been doing since 2022, baby. For the last 2 years, you see their own kids also running for cover. Because Tehran has a 10-day reign of terror. And then the first ones they hit a residential place, and they hit a military base. And I think that's when people started realizing, oh, holy shit, it's happening. This is happening, And they're hitting like different places at night. During the day, they're just kind of like, we're gonna keep hitting, boom, 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 bombard this place, shake it up, terrorize everybody, research scientists, military people, hospital people, residents. We just gonna hit. So everybody almost in, power plants. So everyone is a little bit affected. You're a little traumatized, just a little bit traumatized, because it's not an event that has gone for months. It's not an event that has gone for months. It's just something that has happened in a little over a week, So I wouldn't say it's like major trauma, but it's going to have lasting effects, at least for the next 5 years. Everything that has been hit will have to be rebuilt again for the next 5 years. It's heavy rebuilding, and that is the cost of war. It brings underdevelopment. You may build, and build the best city in the world, because Tel Aviv is a beautiful city. Beautiful. But if you can't keep a peace with your neighbors, that beautiful city that you have built will be torn apart. War is a monster. I don't know why people think it's a good strategy, because people think, oh, if I keep fighting, I might win, and I might get more territory, I might get more land, and I get more power. But the downside is, if you don't, you might lose even more. Because that's the art of war, basically. Somebody like US is huge. Like US can afford to go to, okay, I won't say that the US can afford to go to a war, because war is costly on everyone. But the US is capable of defending its territory internally and abroad, because it's a huge country. It has very good military capabilities. It has bases around the world. It's very much capable of defending itself. However, and it can start a war, but it cannot finish a war, because the last war that the US was in, it lost and had to pull back its troops from Afghanistan, from Iraq. It had to just take off its troops because it wasn't going to win against the Afghanistan, what do you call it? The group. Somebody dropped the group in Afghanistan. You know, the US had to pull out because it wasn't going to win that war. It was very clear. So it's easy right now for the US to go into another war, start a fight, but to finish it is a whole different animal. To finish it is a whole different animal. To actually win, the enemy must be very weak. You know, maybe they can win against Gaza, because Gaza is already way too weakened, and you just cut off their supplies and you starve people slowly, bit by bit. You know, you can win that war. But anyway, I don't know. Do you guys think we are going into a military, into World War III? I mean, there's a ceasefire. I'm welcoming the ceasefire. And this ceasefire tells you a lot. It tells you a lot why Israel and the US wants a ceasefire. Normally, when you're fighting somebody and you know you can win, you are 100% that you can win, you don't want a ceasefire. You don't want it to stop. I'm winning. Why the heck would I want a ceasefire? Like, just even imagine if it was Mayweather fighting somebody. If he knew 100% he's going to knock this person down, why would he call a ceasefire? You don't. You don't. Ceasefire is only important or viable when mutual destruction is assured. You know, why is it that there was a ceasefire between Israel and Gaza, and then the moment Trump became president, they were like, fuck it. We do not want a ceasefire no more. We want the entire Gaza territory. Why? Because they're like, you know, they can win against Gaza because Gaza is already weak. But why would they want a ceasefire between Iran and Israel? Ceasefires only happen when there's mutual destruction. When two parties know they can destroy each other mutually, and they're like, oh shit, let's not fight no more. If they keep hurting me like this, I want them to stop first, because I need to take on some air, take some water, get some Gatorade going, you know, get some vitamins, you know, kind of breathe. They're not saying like ceasefire means like, oh, we stop completely. Nah, they're like, let's take a break and go back to the drawing board and see if we can get ourselves more ammunition and come back stronger. That's really what's going to happen, because this war has already started, and Netanyahu said Iran is Israel's greatest enemy. So they don't want a ceasefire to stop the war. It's not like, oh, we now want peace with our neighbors. They didn't say they want peace. They just said, let's hold off fighting for a while so that Israel can nurse its wounds and recuperate and then go back. And Khamenei is like, okay, yes, I'm about to build the biggest nuclear bomb, so that's okay. We can cease fire right here. That's pretty much his message to the rest of the world. He was like, okay, whatever. But I'm still building my nuclear. That's what he said. Whatever. That's what's up right now. But the funny thing is, I one of the most hilarious things I saw about this ceasefire was that if they agree that the ceasefire will be today at 9:30, if they agree like, oh, we'll have a ceasefire at 9:30, it means that they will be shooting and throwing their missiles until 9:30. So that's what they mean. It's like, oh, we've agreed to a ceasefire, but they have a specific time and date. And that's why you saw that after the ceasefire was agreed yesterday, Iran still hit Israel after, because it's like, oh, we agreed at a certain time, we are respecting it, but only after that time. But the last one of it will go out at the scheduled time of the ceasefire. It's like, they're like, oh, we will fight till the last breath, until the very, very last second. That's when we stop throwing missiles. I was like, oh, wow, shoot. You really were forced to a ceasefire, you know? It's kind of crazy if you think about it. It's like, it is kind of crazy that, yeah, we will stop. We will agree to the ceasefire, but at 9:30 at the dot, that's when the last one goes, and so it will hit you like 2 or 3 hours later, even if you agreed, even if you agreed that we will stop the fight. So we'll give you the very last reward, and good luck with that. Dang, like what the hell, man? Life be cruel sometimes. Anyway, I hope all wars could end right now. Like, I hope everybody can go back home. You know, Putin can go back to Russia and leave, you know, Ukraine alone. I would hope, you know, Israel stays within its borders, Palestine gets its own state, and Iran keeps its missile to itself without launching it at anybody. That would be the world, you know. You would hope that India and Pakistan would come into a peaceful conclusion. You would hope that peace would be in Somalia for once. You would hope that, you know, South Sudan and Northern Sudan, you know, they stop the war. You would hope the Christians and the Muslims in Nigeria would respect each other, and they just stop, that everybody can see the cost of human life, the suffering, underdevelopment, lack of business. Like, we are civilized people. We can live peacefully. We can do business. People can get married, have children, go to school, learn new things. Maybe we can even go to Mars if we wanted to. You know, you would hope that, you know, human beings would be like, okay, let's be civilized. Let's not stop this nonsense of you're white, you're black, you're brown people, you're from this religion. The only religion we should have is love and peace and laughing and having a joyful life, you know. Instead, we are living in this chaotic world where there are bullies, and we have to be happy once in a while when the bully gets challenged, and the people who are being victimized fight back. You know, that our momentary pleasure. But it's not an ideal situation. It's not ideal. It's not what we want. Look at how beautiful morning that is. It is such a beautiful morning. Who doesn't want to live in a peaceful place where there is no war? You can wake up, you can go for a walk, you know, You can go to work. You can, who doesn't want that? You know, everybody in the world wants that. And for some people to think it's their job to terrorize other people, that's what I hate. That's what I don't like. That's, you know, people like, anyway, we have wars to fight. We have wars to fight, but you have to fight in this life. You will have a war in your life, whether it's your enemies who are jealous of you at work, or they want to take your boyfriend or your girlfriend or your wife. In life, you will have enemies. You will have to learn the art of war. You will have to always write the story of your life and assess it. Today, I have this one enemy. This is my strategy to fight it. And it's good that you listen to all leaders, whether you're listening, you know, actually, this morning I found myself listening to the Khamenei, the leader of Iran, because he was addressing his people. And actually, he was telling them the art of war and how Iran has always succeeded by being open to its people, by talking to the imams, talking to the people and telling them in times of crisis exactly what is going down and exactly what they're going to do in response. And they have this, he was telling them that every imam has always had this attitude that that they can do this. If they want a nuclear, they can have one. If they want whatever, they can. They have that attitude. And that's, well, listening to him is like, I want to listen to people and their art of war. How are they, what is informing their strategies of war? And that is one of the things he said. Like, he believes he can do anything. So he got balls of steel, apparently. And then he said, you know, talking to the people, believing in they can, and then defending themselves. And he said, and that involves having the best capabilities to defend their territory. And it was like, he was telling his people, like, this is what we are going to do. We will have the best to defend our territories from bullies, people who are trying to bully us. And I was like, that's a good art of war. Even if you take it as a personal philosophy, like, how are you going to defend yourself? Whether financially, your emotions, your life. So I'm already at the end. That's how far I came. This is where I started. For those of us who've been here since I started like 40 minutes ago, going through my walk, my morning walk, this is where I'm at. That's how I came. Beautiful. I'm going back to my car. Thanks guys for, you know, joining me. Yeah, so learn how to defend yourself, get yourself some resources, write your story down and inform yourself, you know, where you are headed, where you're going. Some of these strategies, you know, I learned from, I did a 4-year class in international relations. So that is kind of world politics. And so my studies informed me so much about how to analyze international politics and war and what's happening around me. And, you know, this is what I tell people. If you think that the political system is confusing you, you're wondering why people don't have the goodwill to do what's right for the people, if you're wondering why there is no peace, and maybe your heart is breaking because of everything that is happening, it can be heartbreaking. I would say, you know, study something like international relations or international politics, because that will give you a very informed view why people behave the way they behave. So one of the theories that I learned about international politics is that, oh, it's so noisy, is that people generally are very selfish. And it's not just people. Every country is selfish. Every country wants the best for itself. They want to protect its people. They want to protect their borders. And, if they could, they would go after other countries and take their territories and subjugate other peoples from other countries. It's just people are selfish and states are selfish. And the only way to avoid this selfishness from going out of control is for there to be laws that people respect. And so states come together and they decide, okay, we are all selfish. Let's put on some laws and rules so that everybody plays by the rules and we don't destroy each other with our selfishness, because everybody understands human nature. So that is good, right? You have states, you have rules, and that's that. But there's always going to be a rogue state, a state that goes out of the agreement, whether it's because it's a bully or it wants more power or whatever. There's always going to be like the rogue states that don't have any respect to international law. And in this case, it was clear that the US went rogue and attacked Iran out of the blue. Nobody wanted any, they just kind of decided, oh, let's attack Iran. That's going rogue. That is, obviously there are selfish reasons behind it. Maybe they want to overthrow the regime in Iran so that they can have control over Iran's resources and put in a leader in Iran who is more like a puppet, who will bend to the will of Israel and the US. Maybe that's why they did it, but it's always going to be because they want something from that country. It's always selfishness. So that's why most people are like, yeah, Iran had a right, according to international law, to defend itself. Just like you would have a right to defend yourself if somebody broke against you to your house, your kids, your property, you would have a right to defend yourself. So that's an easy way to understand why they acted the way they acted, defending themselves. So that is what I'm going to say this morning as I go back to my car and as I prepare for my day, is that, that's why in international relations are selfish. That's the It's never going to change why. And another thing is never trust any state to act in your best interest. Always believe that if they can harm you, they will. That is Marlow's law. If it can happen, it will happen. So that's what we say. Like, if it can happen, it will happen. So do not be naive. Like, this cannot happen. They cannot harm me. Nope. Nope, 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 nope. Don't fall asleep. Protect yourself. Protect yourself. Assume the worst can happen and protect yourself. That's all I'm gonna say. So I'm here. I'm walking back to my car. I'm walking back to my car after a long walk. Um, it's been a very interesting week, I must say. A very, very interesting week. But we've gone through that week. Um, I think a lot of things that could have been avoided have been avoided. You know, there's a ceasefire. We don't have to worry so far about a nuclear war. We don't have to worry about a third world war erupting. I really don't want to see a third world war in my lifetime. It's not something I want to. It's not something I want to look forward to. It's just something I just don't. I don't want to get involved in that. Like, it's not something that I want to get involved in at all. At all, at all, at all. Because already I'm tired. Even going on my phone and seeing what's happening in Gaza already is tiring. When you see people sleeping under tents, in underground trains, it's tiring to see human suffering. It's not a sight to behold, you know what I mean? It's not something you're excited, oh, I love to see this. No, it's disgusting. Nobody wants that. Nobody wants that. We want to see kids laughing. It's what gives me joy, having a good time, families with that. Oh, finally the human race is civilized and our kids are finally happy and peaceful no matter where they live in the world. That's what I want to see, right? This is what I want to see, baby. This is a very cute park, right? Yeah. So, well, guys, thanks so much. I'm here in my car. I got an accident. Look, my car got into an accident right there. Um, I'm alive. I'm alive. Um, well, that's my morning walk. I've done 48 minutes. You better keep up with health. You better, my love. My love. Better, better. You're here, didn't like my video. I'm sorry if you didn't agree with everything I said. I got my own opinions because I have a brain, okay? Okay? Got it? Got it? Got it? I love you. I hope you have a beautiful day. Like my channel. Because if you guys don't like my channel, I'm gonna be broke. Mustafa, nice seeing you. See you next time. Love you. Take care.